From Studio A in the Texas Sugar Shack, this is the award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Let me turn this down just a little bit.
Turn it down.
There we go. Just ahead, we visit with Vernon Wilhelm, president of the Northside Mustang Club. Also, I'll give you my thoughts on driving the 2025 Mazda CX-90 SUV, and Jeff has the Motor Minute. This segment of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Chief Engineer David Ainsley, he'll be joining us in person next week. And
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you the details on that. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. I've been fiddling with the controls over here, trying to make it so it's not so distorted, and I think I'm getting there finally. But you don't want to know all those details,
No.
do we, Jeffrey?
No.
Okay.
No.
No. All right. So let's
Isn't that a song?
talk. Pardon me?
Thinking that was a song. No.
That's not the title of the song.
No.
Oh.
No.
So let's get out there to Gullo Ford in Conroe
What?
and talk to Vernon Wilhelm, Northside Mustang Club. Vernon, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
All right, yourself?
Very well, thank you. What are you doing out there?
Well, we got a little car show going on out here at Rudy's on 105.
Oh, it's in Rudy's. I thought it was at Gullo.
Well, Gullo has way too much inventory,
Yeah?
so we have made a new location here. We're out here at Rudy's doing the car show.
So what if
Kind of
what if I go to Gullo where it was advertised that the car show is going to be? Is it going to be a big sign out front that says go that way?
Yeah. No, we advertised it at going to Rudy's. So
Did you tell Mars that?
no, but he didn't ask either.
That's like being at home.
This is welcome to your home, sir, because you are wrong in every single stinking way.
Yeah, it's good to be home.
Jeff's sitting here shaking his head. No,
I'm
because
not getting involved in it.
because he knows way too much about that.
I know where the skeletons are.
Yeah. There's that. Well, okay, so you're at Rudy's in Conroe?
Yes, sir.
Where's Rudy's?
It's off of it's on 105, just west of Conroe, about 5 miles, right here on the south side of 105. Can't miss it.
Okay. I'm making myself a note. So, but you guys usually have a pretty good relationship with the Gullo people up there, don't you?
Oh yeah, Gullo's. They brought a car out for the show. They're here.
What did they bring?
They brought a new 2025 Mustang.
Is it one of
5.0.
is it one of those $200,000 Mustangs?
No, it is not. No. Matter of fact, you can walk away with this one. I seen that door price of $52,250. It can be yours.
The door prize of $52,000. Yeah, I got you. $52,000. Well, what's so special about it? It's got it up there at $52,000.
Well, it's got this brand new magenta type paint job on it now. Never seen it. It looks great. I don't know if I can get in here to get you guys take a look at it here.
Okay, as long as we don't lose you, we're good. Is it
Yeah, I don't
raining
think-
up there?
Yeah, it's sprinkling a little bit here.
Yeah.
But here's your car right here.
Well, you're gonna have to. Nice. That's called magenta.
Yeah, they've got a. It's a new color that they've come out with.
It looks like the University of Alabama crimson red.
It's a molten magenta is what they call it.
Oh,
Molten magenta.
Ooh.
Kind of like you, Jeff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been molting for years.
Yes. That's very nice. So it's not a giveaway car. It's just a car for you to look over.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Kind of a tease. And for us old guys, that doesn't usually set well, because what we want to do is we want to take the car that we're currently driving and add some to it and then go out and get that car.
Yeah, and they last year they brought out a Bronco to the show and had it sold before the show was over.
Huh.
Well, so they know what side the bread is buttered on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Well, how many members in the Northside Mustang Club?
We're right at about 125 right now.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
And that includes anybody, I guess, that wants to join, but I guess that your main membership is up there in the Conroe Woodlands area.
Yes. But we have members that from Dallas, Texas, spread out down the south side of town, all the way to Beaumont. So our membership scatters out some bit.
I'll bet you even probably got somebody from Neaterville over there.
We probably do.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Silsby. Never mind.
I'm sorry, what, Mike?
I'm pretty sure it's Silsby. Some of the guys from the Wild Horse Mustang Club kind of migrate over this way.
Oh, those Silsby boys, they're they're crazy.
yeah.
Those wild guys.
Well, so how many have showed up today on your rainy Saturday car show?
We're knocking about 60 cars right now.
That's pretty good
Not bad,
for a
yeah.
rainy Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any show cars that came in trailers for this little event?
Not today. No show cars in the trailer.
Okay. Do you have any show cars in your trailer?
Yeah. I have a show car in my trailer. Yeah, but it's at the house. So.
Well, what kind of car is that?
I got a '67 Fastback Mustang.
All right.
Matter of fact,
Nice.
I'm working on I got 3 more national shows to go, and I'll actually retire my car from the national and went as far as I can with it, and actually be the first Gen 1 Mustang to ever receive this award. So
Wow.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Do you have any Mach-E's out there?
No Mach-E's today. Nope.
Oh, boy.
You know, electric and water don't go together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that don't go together with electric.
So he purposely planned this on a rainy day is what he did. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. All right. Well, so what did you bring to the show?
Well, my wife brought her car. You guys seen that before? She's got the 2006 that's been modified to look like a 67 Fastback.
Oh, yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, first you pay out a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, that's a given. It's kind of like a boat.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the guys that built the car, they had built another one you guys know about Mustang Week. I think it's coming up at the end of April here in Galveston. Well, they have the premier car. They won the online voting for the best car for Mustang Week, and so the builders will be here with their car, with that car at Mustang Week.
Nice. So you guys have got a lot going on. You know, this is car show season, and also cruise-in season, and most of the time they go to hand in hand. But you guys are pretty active, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we have about 6 cruises planned for this year. Of course, we have the one coming up next week at the Hemi Hideout. We have another one that's going through the National Forest up to the west side. We got Lake Livingston cruise coming up. We have another cruise coming up in August that's going to go through the National Forest and stuff again. And then we're going over to Schulenburg in September, October area to the Painted Churches.
Nice.
And then I've been talking with Gullo, and we're going to do sometime this year. They'll open up the museum for us to go visit the museum again at Gullo.
That's wonderful.
Well, what's the mood up there now that Tony is no longer with us?
Well, everything's good. They're doing good. They're keeping the the Christmas lights going. They're keeping the museum and that kind of stuff. So I mean, they're doing good. But we all do miss Tony.
Yes, of course, because he had such a charismatic personality. Well, who's running the dealership now?
Sparky runs the dealership there at Ford.
That's his son.
Yep.
Yeah. And does he have any children?
Sparky, yeah, and they, and then his brother, he runs the Toyota dealership right across the street, Gullo Toyota.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to make sure that the family is doing well and they keeping the flame alive.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
very good. Well, when you buy Ford parts, do you buy them from Gullo?
When I need them, yes, that's where I go to. I go.
What do you mean when you
Deere.
need them? You always need them. You got an old car.
This is not a Chevy. This is a Ford.
Well, we knew that there's.
Thanks for calling in. We got to go.
we knew that there was going to be a dig about Chevy in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how are you going to handle the Hemi hideout then if you're already saying bad things about Chevrolet on the radio? I can only imagine what it's going to be like when we see you next
Mopar
weekend
boys
at the Hemi hideout.
Oh, well, I can't say much too bad about the Mopar stuff. My wife, that's more of her passion than it is the Ford part of it. But I mean, that place is incredible over there.
Yes,
There's a lot of Ford signs and stuff in there too. So
Yes. Yeah. John may have a passion for Chrysler products, but I'll tell you what, he doesn't hold back when it comes to his signage and other collectibles when it comes to automobilia.
No, and the good thing about it is everything in there is for sale.
Well, yes, but as is the case with everybody that's an auto enthusiast of any kind.
But they're John's prices.
Yeah, they're John's
Yeah.
prices. There is that, but and I know that he has sold a couple of cars out of his collection. I don't know why, or I don't know the story behind that. Maybe we'll ask him next weekend. But I do know that it's the car collection is a couple of short what he did when he opened the Hemi hideout, because he doesn't. I haven't seen the Hemi hideout full of his cars in a long time.
Well, he's got them. It's just that they're not displayed.
That's correct.
Yeah, because he's got so much other stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and he's got so many events in there. And
Right.
if you put all the
Yeah.
cars in there,
Yeah.
you don't have time
No.
for
Right.
places for people to walk.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's
so how
it's-
do you handle a cruise like that? You're going to cruise down to the Hemi hideout. So you guys going to meet somewhere first, and then you all cruise together?
yes. Going to be meeting over at Katie at the Buc-ee's between 8:30 and 9:30, leaving sharply at 9:30, and arriving at Hemi Hideout at 10 a.m.
So you have you learned your lesson by trying to get everybody and keep them all together? Like, say, for instance, you're going to start up at the Woodlands Mall and drive all the way down there?
Hey, we do a great job of keeping everybody together and planning those cruises. Last year alone, we had a car cruise that went up to Anderson all the way around to Huntsville. We ended up only having one car that kind of got out of line, and we got it back in, and there was right at 70 cars that we had in that car cruise.
Do you have a police escort?
No police escort, but we try to plan those things well.
Very nice. So
They got a lot of practice. They're
Not
very
too many
active.
stop signs, or you try to avoid those, because usually at
Yeah.
a stop sign, that's when you get broken up.
Yeah, the hard part is one thing we can't get to see in the plan is the bicycles. There's a lot of bicycles when you start heading west of town here, out there on the country roads.
Yeah. All the bike clubs are out there riding.
Yeah.
Well, that's always good to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's great to talk to you. I assume that you got a Facebook page, or you got a website or something for Northside Mustangs?
We do. We actually, our new website is up and running. www.northsidemustang .org. And we've kind of revamped our website now. I mean, we've got it set up now, starting for our fall shows and things like that. You'll be able to go right into our website, sign up for a car show, pay for it right there. All that stuff that you don't have to worry about when you get here. You drive in and just start enjoy yourself.
Kind of like going to a concert these days. You don't even need a ticket. Just do it all online.
Yeah, we're trying to move up with the times ourselves.
Well, that's good. Well, I appreciate that.
But you got a DJ there too?
Yeah, you guys might know that guy, Randy Weldon.
Oh, my God. We could tell by the sound of his quivering voice that it was Randy Weldon. We'll give Randy our best, and y'all have a good time up there. How long does this event go on this morning?
Well, we'll have awards at 2:00. After that, it'll be everybody on their own.
Gotcha. Well, we certainly do thank you very much, Vernon, for talking to us today. And best of luck. And we're going to see you next weekend, because we're going to be out at the Hemi Hideout. Be sure and stop by.
Well, you won't see me, but Jim there. I'm actually off to a national show in Orlando next weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck on that. And I guess that you're trailering the car down there.
Oh, yes.
All right, brother. Well, take care of yourself, and thanks again.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
bet.
Thank you.
All right, just ahead, a review of the 2025 Mazda CX-90 and Jeff's Motor Minute
Oh, yeah.
after this quick break.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 Chili Pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. Hey, we'd like to invite you to come along with us on the upcoming Hot Rod Tour of Texas, April 24th through the 27th. Beginning in Victoria on April 24th. We have links to the site on InWheelTime.com and on the InWheelTime Facebook page, don't we, Mr. Mars?
Yes, sir.
Good answer.
I just got to say, you're just saying that because we do or we don't?
Because we do.
Okay. Well, I know
We
you.
do.
And sometimes it's like, yeah, we do. I haven't checked it in a couple of months, but last time I looked at it, it was on there.
Well, I can truthfully say last time I looked at it, it was on there. Yes.
How long ago was that?
Couple of months.
That part I don't remember.
Isn't the term I do, not we do?
Something.
I do.
Whatever.
Something.
Hey, and I want to remind everybody also that next weekend we're going to be at the Hemi Hideout.
We are.
There's going to be an open house. John Hovis has said this is the spring open house. Everybody's invited, and as you heard, that the Northside Mustang Club is going to do a cruise down there to the Hemi Hideout.
That'll be fun.
And it's going to be a great time. 10 to 1 is the cruise in for the Hemi Hideout.
Right.
$10 cash. That $10 is matched by John and Diane, and they give it to the local charities out there in Brookshire.
You know what's cool? They've got a lot of parking around the facility, but when you park, they'll get a golf cart and bring you back up to the building.
Yes.
You're not going to walk, a eighth of a mile or whatever it is. They're going to tote you up there. So it's all good
the
stuff.
other thing, they do ask that you help them with a head count so that they know they do have some light refreshments, and there is a limit to how many people they can get in there. So I'd like to have a reservation. Call and let them know you're coming, and they ask that not to bring the itty bitties or at least the little 12
Children under 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Yeah, too much stuff they can accidentally break.
Yeah.
All right, time now for the Motor Minute.
Yeah, Motor Minute. Those of us in Texas that have the temporary tags, temporary plates when you buy a car, well, House Bill 718 is replacing the temporary tags with metal license plates. Texas legislature enacted House Bill 718, which goes into effect July 1st of this year. New license plates beginning July 1st. Texas Motor Vehicles will no longer issue the following temporary tag, or what they call an E-tag system. Instead, these temporary tags, the dealers will issue metal plates at the time of the sale. Additionally, this House bill will modify the process of issuing general issue license plates. Dealers will receive an allocation of general issue license plates directly to their licensed location or the dealership that will be issued at the time of the sale. Plates will remain with the vehicle. When a consumer sells or trades in the vehicle to a dealer, the general issue license plates registered to the vehicle will stay with that vehicle. Dealers must store the plates in a secured and assigned area to them next to the person who purchases the vehicle. Well, that person's going to buy the vehicle, they're going to get the plate. License plate distribution, the model of the license plates delivered by the dealers by county. So the state's going to say, okay, county, you got so many dealers, this is what you're going to get on the plate side. Direct to the dealer for the general use plates. Plates will be produced by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice or the prison system to be shipped to a centralized distribution warehouse operated by a Texas Department of Motor Vehicle contractor. So let's see what goes wrong there. Dealers.
It'll actually work better than with actually having the state handle that.
Right, it will, but then there's always that small percentage. Dealers will order and track the assigned license plates easily and directly through a new web base. Now, they're all going through training right now, and the way this breaks down is April 30th, they're in the training at the websites for the dealers. May, it's going to be enacted, and then as of July 1st, no more temporary tags. And the reason for this is there was a lot of theft of plates. There was a lot of criminal activity of people making their own temporary plates and then stealing a car and go robbing a bank or whatever. So there was no threat on that. So this is to eliminate all the criminal activity.
It also increases employment in Huntsville.
It does. It does. Absolutely.
Yeah. What are you doing tomorrow? Well, I'm in lockdown for a long time, so nothing.
I'm making a vanity plate for in-wheel time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got the order for their plates.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on.
Right. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2025 Mazda CX-90. Final assembly location, Hofu, Japan, meaning it's going to be subjected to a 25% tariff. If you get one that's already on the dealer's lot today, there won't be a 25% tariff, but anything after April 2nd, beginning April 3rd, actually, then anything that comes into the port of Houston or port of wherever they come into, then that's a 25% tariff. Yes, Mr. Mars?
Are you going to be able to find out when that car came in?
Well, if it's sitting on the dealer's lot, it doesn't make any difference.
Let's say April the 15th.
That's not up to me. That's not up to me.
I'm just kind of
It's
wondering.
a general question, but yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Does the dealer have to tell you whether or not you got the 25% tariff on it?
I don't know. And is it going to show up on the Monroney? Probably not.
No, I wouldn't
because
think so.
tariffs don't show up on
No.
and because you have to understand, 25% is on top of the tariffs that are already in place. So if there's a tariff of 7% for Japan, everything that comes from Japan is 7%. Well, tack on another 25%.
Yeah, but the 25% doesn't go to the dealer. It goes to the government.
That's correct.
Yeah. So there's no incentive for the dealer to be charging that if they don't have to.
Well, no, the car's going to cost the
Yeah.
dealer more money because
Right.
it's going to be built into the cost of that.
But I think to Mike's point is that how do you know what the cutoff
Look,
was?
this
in the
is
car?
another discussion for another segment of the show.
Thank you,
because
Michael.
We
Not
could,
during
we
the
could
car
start
review.
this. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know.
So it's a CX-90.
Is it?
It comes in several trim levels: Turbo Select, Preferred, Premium Sport, Premium Plus, Premium Preferred. I had the PHEV plug-in hybrid electric vehicle Premium Plus. This is a standard SUV, seats up to 8 people. All new in 2024. This is the CX-70, but with the third row added to it. That's how they determined all that.
Cool.
So it was all new in 2024. One of the sexiest bodies in this size SUV. Big grille that doesn't overwhelm the rest of the front fascia. Concentric wheel openings house big wheels specific to the trim level that you get. Rear hatch has a sloped rear glass with a sunshade over it. Looks kind of racy. It's almost kind of like a rear spoiler, but not. What I liked about it, the overall look exudes luxury and sportiness in one. I wrote that.
Very nice.
What could use improvement? Question mark. Nothing that I could tell you anyway. Interior highlights. Linear dash. The cues maintain a minimalist look. The screen is operated through a knob on the console. With HVAC controls on
Upset.
buttons below. That's a
You didn't like it?
That's a big X for me.
Oh.
Nice materials throughout the cabin with comfortable front seats. Dash allows for customized accessory motifs. I use that word.
Yeah.
Motif.
Motif.
You use that word?
No.
Not very often.
No.
Well, I do. It's on my softer side. Cargo and trunk room, small with the third row up. What I liked would make a nice soccer mom mobile. It is big. What could use improvement? More attention to the second and third row seats for comfort, because they are like riding buckboard back there.
Oh, boy.
But hey, it's either your passengers, like the Zekins, are in the back seat, because we're only carting you down the street or back.
Yeah.
You're not going on a long trip with it.
You're just getting carted.
Yeah. Carded.
Carded. That's it. Engine is a thing they called Skyactiv PHEV. I don't know what that means, but it is the PHEV. Horsepower combined with the battery, 323. Torque, 369 pound-feet. So it's got some oomph. 8-speed automatic transmission, tows up to 3,500 pounds.
Wow.
Mileage, 24 city, 28 highway for a combined of 25. That is without the electric help. I used the electric one time. I made it from my house to work, which is about 30 miles on a single charge. And it didn't take long to charge it back up because it's not that big of a deal. It helps. If I'm going to go back and forth to the grocery store, great. If I'm going to drive anywhere over 30 miles, not so much.
Yeah.
I got, like I said, 28.9 miles per gallon over 350 miles. I used the all electric once. What I liked, electric and gas combo equals 56 mpge. What can use improvement? Slow to react when stomping on the go pedal. Doesn't quite know what to do. So there is that. The ride and handling, sporty to say the least. Base trim price on this, $57,950. Price is tested, $59,405. Now, if you just like the vehicle itself with the gasoline motor, you can get in one if you can find one for $37,845. Competitors, Kia Telluride is its brother. The gasoline version starts at $36,390. Toyota Grand Highlander, $44,210 for the hybrid model. And the VW Atlas, which is a gasoline model, starts at $38,200. And that is my review of the 2025
Mazda CX
90.
90.
Thank you.
Sounds like
I was testing your memory and trying to find the damn page that had that written down on it.
See, we pay attention over here.
Yeah.
See,
We're the attention payers.
Here's what happens. I get all these cars. I get a different car every week. I go into a parking lot. I'm going, what am I driving?
Yeah.
And sometimes, I have to hit. You do too, don't you?
Where's the one with the blinking lights?
That's right. Or the honk. Yeah. It's a tough problem to have.
Yeah.
Not.
Third world problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. More on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show after this.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, April 3rd to the 5th at NRG Center. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience with 1,000 vehicles up for grabs. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. Bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets now at Mecum.com.
This is your place for all things automotive, the award-winning in-wheel time car talk show. Just ahead, we talk to Richard Tomlin, Apex Auto Works. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar, Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll get you caught up on the stories making automotive news headlines. I guess what they... I can't imagine. What would the headlines be this week?
Headlines would be headlines.
Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. And Chief Engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday for our live show. We always are live on Saturdays, generally speaking, 10 to noon. That's the case today. Next weekend, we'll be at the Hemi Hideout. I still don't know whether we're doing a 2 or 3 hour show out there, Mars.
Well, I think I saw on their website that their event is from 8:30 to 12:30. So that would put us not 8:30, 10:30 to 12:30. So we're normally 10 to 12, so I thought we might go till 12:30. We might go to 1. I figured we'd kind of discuss that after
And we may not even show up.
Oh, we'll show
I'm
up.
going to show up.
You'll show up.
I'll go.
But we ain't taking the equipment with us.
Well, that's fine. I just like going there.
I know. Well, we
Yeah.
all do. Yeah.
Hey, before we go too far, I got 2 things from our online audience.
Yes.
Okay.
First, you remember talking to Rhonda Palmer?
Yes.
Lady with her Corvette and her husband Corvette. She went out to the Texas Mile last week and hit 201.6. You talk about a fast lady. There's a fast lady.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to tell you specifically for you, John, Mr. Jeff Heisman, wanted to let you know that that you were talking about is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle.
Yeah, he said that.
I said that.
He did. He introduced it.
Heitzman is telling you now.
Oh.
Well, Jeff's always been behind the curve.
Yeah,
so,
a little bit.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Well, he said that in the interview. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah. What he said.
go down to Alvin, Texas, shall
All right,
we?
let's do that.
Alvin, Texas, and Richard Tomlin, Apex Auto Works. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, all.
How are you, sir?
Amazing. Dead sexy as always, and yourself?
Yeah, dead sexy. You know, we haven't talked to you since before Christmas.
I've been hiding under a car somewhere.
Yeah?
Is that one of those PHEVs behind you there?
No, this is a Panos. So think late 90s. Road Atlanta, they were selling a bunch of these. We got a local guy who's got quite a collection, and this was in for a complete repaint. So complete disassembly, paint it, put it back together, send it down the road.
Well, that's not that difficult on a Panos, is it?
It's more than you would think. You would actually think it's going to be quite simple. It's way more than it should be, but we smile about it. We move on.
Interesting. Okay. Are you changing colors or just repainting it the same color?
Yeah, changing it back to, it was one they used for a Hot Wheels themed car.
Oh.
So if you Google Panos Hot Wheels in orange, there's an orange one with a gray and black stripe. So recreating that car so it can go into a museum and sit there and collect dust. We hope it gets back out on track.
I was just going to say, you're doing all this work to it, and it's going to go into a museum?
Yeah, it's going into private collection storage. So
Yikes. Okay.
it's interesting. Things change, right?
Yeah, always. What else you got in the shop these days?
67 Firebird getting an LSA swap.
Right.
Another Miata getting a Honda J Series swap. So that gets a 3.2 liter Honda.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
It's amazing. I can't explain it until you drive one. It's like the LS is almost too much for that car.
Yeah.
The Honda 6-cylinder is almost perfect.
Wow.
It truly is. You can use the factory transmission, factory rear end. It's just the motor and some electronics. So it's pretty awesome. It actually works out really well.
What was
Bunch
that?
of them at the track.
What was that little?
Bunch of them down there.
What was that little Pontiac that
Fiero?
No,
Solstice.
The Solstice.
Solstice.
So when I went to visit Hennessy up in Detroit, he has his own, obviously, very heavy laden GM collection up there, and one of them was the Solstice, and it looked just like a regular car. I said, "So why is this in here?" He says, "Well, here, let me show you." So he reaches in and pops the hood, and it's got a great big V8 motor in it. I said, "How do you even
Appropriate.
How do you get it into drive? I mean, it just lurched forward just at idle." He says, "Yeah, well, we found out that that's really the problem." He says, "I went to take my daughter to school, drop her off in the car line, and every time I put it into drive to move up, it peeled the tires. It did a little mini burnout right there in the line, and they kind of frowned on the whole experience. So
chirp.
I had to stop taking it to school, taking my
It
daughter to
happens.
school. And
It happens.
Yeah, there's that. Well, so I assume that you have some Mexican trips coming up.
We have a trip coming up very soon, and that's what Mars and I were chatting about. Is this is the first year that we've actually had to go, hey, wait, is this where we want to go? Mexico's on a level 4 warning for Americans traveling there. And when COVID happened, we were at level 3. We still went, no problems, and we're going. We're going to make the trip here in, I guess, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We'll be heading south, a little bit longer process to get across the border and back, is what we've heard. But all of our regular guests that go with us are going. Regular teams are going.
Are
It'll be a
you
little bit lighter year than usual.
taking firearms with you to protect yourself?
That is not wise. Not
No.
wise to do.
That'll put you in jail. Yeah.
Yeah, hide them beside the road in Texas before you
Yeah, don't even
get to
have
the border.
Yeah. Don't even
Story
have-
goes, even a round of ammunition is a bad find.
Yeah,
I see.
They'll
Okay.
put you in jail for that.
Try not to have any of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
So
I've been told. I
You're
don't
going
wanna find
down
out.
there. You're going down there to road race on asphalt roads, right?
Correct. All asphalt, tarmac, whichever one you want to call it. Easiest way to compare it is anybody that's seen what we call WRC on TV, World Rally Championships.
Yep.
It is the same thing as that, just in asphalt stages only. We don't play in the dirt with these cars.
we're having problems with your
have other cars for
with
that.
your
These
signal
cars are
reaching us
asphalt only.
because are you inside of a metal building?
Dude, I'm always inside the metal building, but the doors are open.
Well,
Is it not great right now?
Yeah,
huh?
no,
You want to
it's
leave
not.
Wi-Fi and go to just cellular?
I don't care what you do, but you're
kind of bouncing a little bit. You're flickering.
You cut in and out whatever you got it set up as now.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just go to settings. Let's see if we shut Wi-Fi off, if it makes it better or worse. You could go away here, but we'll try.
So I was asking him about this because in a couple of weeks we're going to have a guest with us. They go down there desert racing, Southern California, and they go into Mexico, and they're really thinking about it's a sponsor, and he's really thinking about holding all their sponsorship team on this side of the border, not letting them go into Mexico. If the racers go, they go, but their support, they're really thinking about keeping it on this side of the border because of all this stuff going on.
Well, what exactly has changed? Other than
the
a lot
border's
of
closed.
a lot of
It's kind of like the tariff deal. The cartel has been classified as a terrorist group. So the belief is there will be more retaliation towards Americans as we go across the border. Now, we go across in Alpine, Big Bend area, Agnagua, Presidio crossing, and that's not a large drug cartel area. If we were going through Lubbock, El Paso, I could see that maybe being a bigger issue, or Laredo or El Paso, great. But where we're going, it's not usually the case.
Well, let
so
me
that's
ask
part
you
of the
this.
reason why.
So
we're less.
we have somebody that we are in touch with, and they have a high-speed event. They closed down a highway out in West Texas, and as you heard, Mike said that one of the participants went 201 miles an hour. Why can't you just
we put
pull
the
all
cage,
that?
We put the cage in her car. We know Rhonda quite well.
All right. So why don't you just pull all of that stuff and make it here in the United States instead of taking it to Mexico?
Lawyers.
just change
and
the event.
Insurance. Ours, April 25th.
No, just change the event. Don't make it a Chihuahua Run. Make it a
Oh, yeah, you can't.
something else.
The U.S. laws don't allow us to play like that. Literally, we close down highways. What we would consider here farm to market roads get closed for an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time, and we literally race through the streets. It is awesome and it's amazing. And that's what makes it great. And we're working on a couple. I have an event that should be coming up here in October in Victoria, Texas. It'll be in a city park, but it'll be a similar thing of an actual public road that normally you could drive. But that day we'll go race on it. We've got another one in West Virginia that's happening up in the mountains. We hope to see that one happen this year as well. So there's some stuff happening, but the U.S. legal system, lawyers and insurance have made it very, very difficult to make it happen without the governor basically signing off on it.
Wow.
So you'd rather just take it down there and risk your life and limb with the cartels and getting.
Well,
I
think
for where I'm racing, I'm perfectly okay with it.
I think the difference between that and the desert racing, where you're out in the middle of nowhere, literally, they're going through towns and they've literally got people with machine guns along the way to help protect them. Whereas the guys that are going out in the desert, they got nothing.
Yeah, so our race, they've got to close off the road. So every intersection, every driveway has what they call a federale. Basically, our state police get stationed in every driveway and every intersection to hold the cars off for the hour so we can race through. And then they open the roads again. So not really a hotbed for where the cartel wants to be. They don't want to be where the federal police are. If you're racing Baja in a truck or Nora, Score, you could find yourself 100 miles from anything except the cartel. And that's the difference there.
Gotcha. We got the cartel, the federales outside the door right now.
Yeah, they're protecting us.
Protecting us.
God, I hope they don't have one of those, wishbone things that they could find us.
Well, they got a little beagle dog for the drug dog.
Yeah. Well, she's in the nursing home, so I don't think
She's a supplier.
she's the supplier. That's it.
Cosequin.
Yeah, that's it. Well, this sounds like fun. So, what kind of cars do you take? What do you have categories of racing and V8s and 4-cylinders and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, they call it ABC, and basically you got your 4-cylinder, you've got your 6s, and then you've got your big V8s. And the V8 is always the biggest class. That's what everybody wants to drive. You got a couple of Europeans that bring in the 4-cylinders and are really fast in the little 4-cylinders, but the American V8s is where it's at, and it's the fun, and it's the noise, and it's what the fans want to see, and that's where the involvement is. We'll be taking 5 Corvette again, just like yours back 04, but it's almost 300,000 miles now. Well driven, well used. It's a loved car.
Nice.
Yeah, a loved car.
Yeah.
That's been wrecked how many times?
It is loved. 8 or 9, maybe.
Yeah, well loved and well.
Put it back together and go race again.
Yeah, I'm
you
just
go.
going to say, yeah. So it's been to the hospital many times. It's kind of like
Yeah, it's been to the hospital a few times.
yeah. All right. Well, there's that. So you're going to take the Corvette, and are you going to drive it? Yes.
I will not be driving. I'll be running service and crew.
Okay.
Scott Butler will be driving again. It's his car, and he gets to wheel it through that portion of the event.
By the way, did I happen to
We
tell
may be
you?
doing an event in Bonneville this year, a street event in Bonneville.
Nice.
So that's a new event happening out there. Instead of it being all race cars and roll cages, it's going to be a street car only event. And I'll get some more details on that and get those over to Mars. But it's going to be an invitation only event, but it looks like they're taking 150, maybe 200 cars. So
So we could take
it'll
the
be worth
in-wheel
the road
time
trip.
machine over there.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice because instead of you waiting to get off the salt to get the bottom of your car washed, they're going to have a car wash for you every night when you come off of the salt. So we don't have to worry about the salt sitting on the car more than a couple hours getting cleaned off. So we're going to take a couple vehicles out there and go play.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, well, that sounds like fun. Did I happen to tell you that I had an experience going up the mountain there in Colorado?
Pikes Peak.
You've had some good times up there, I know. What experience is this one?
Well, yeah.
White knuckle.
The white knuckle experience all the way.
Oh, okay.
I was doing about 5 miles an hour, and I tell you what, the next time I get that high, I'll be on my way to heaven. Because I won't be alive, I can promise you that. And I can't
That's
even
awesome.
I can't even imagine with my right foot nailed to the floor over a accelerator pedal? No way. I don't understand how anybody can do that. No, I can't do it. Matter of fact, I had to sit in the car when we got to the top of the mountain, up there where the little display thing is, where you can get out there and have something to eat. Oh my God, I wouldn't even think about having something to eat. And looking over, 14,000 feet down. No, I'm good. That'll never happen again. It was an experience, and I white-knuckled it all the way up there and all the way down.
Oh, crying like a baby.
It's it is not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it is one of the most beautiful places in America. It's truly amazing up there.
Well, it is amazing, especially when the trees stop growing. And
lack of oxygen, tree line.
Yeah, all of that. And God made it that way so people wouldn't go there. I'm just saying. I just wanted to put that out there for anybody that ever said, "Hey Don, want to go up Pikes Peak again?" No, is the answer to that.
Good to go.
Yeah, I am good to go. So, what do you got planned? Are you just working on race cars and fun stuff like that thing behind you?
Yeah, we installed ABS on the Pikes Peak Monster, so I'll be playing with some ABS system stuff today. More bleeding of brakes. And then this afternoon, I'll paint a couple more panels for the panos behind us. That'll be my Saturday. Then it's time for dinner and barbecue, I'm sure.
I'm sure. All right. Well, it's great to talk to you, as always. And thank you for very, very much calling in. We really appreciate you. And we'll be waiting to hear all about the Mexican trip, if you're still alive.
We'll be alive.
Aye.
All right.
Yeah.
God bless.
Soon. Be great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Richard.
Richard. Appreciate you.
Just ahead, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History.
Dun-dun.
And we got plenty of news headlines on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We are back in a flash.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 chili pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. Hey, you going to the Hot Rod Tour of Texas?
Yep,
Be sure and follow the In Wheel Time team when we join over 300 other enthusiasts beginning April 24th as we trek across Texas. Get the info link at inwheeltime.com and our In Wheel Time Facebook page. Also, next weekend we're going to be at the Hemi Hideouts, an open house out there. Everybody is welcome. $10 donation in cash. It's important to say that.
Yep.
And John matches the $10 and gives it to the local charities out there in Brookshire. If you've never been, it'll be an eye-opening experience, I promise. And we'll be there broadcasting our show. So there's
They have other events there too. They have wedding weddings out there.
All
They've
sorts
got
of
all
stuff.
kinds of-
Yeah. All right, time now for the racing calendar, sponsored by the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
Thank you for that. NHRA is this weekend. It's the Lucas Oil NHRA Winter Nationals. It's the In-N-Out
Why do
Burger.
they call that? That's a
Pomona-
holdover.
Well,
it's because it's not winter anymore.
No, you have to ask them. I don't know. But it is the In-N-Out Burger Pomona Dragster. That's what's going on there. Craftsman Trucks ran last night in the NASCAR series. Don't know who won that one because it was up late and I didn't get to see it. So the Xfinity runs today.
You were drinking at Lupe Tortilla. At Los Tios.
I had two, and I had my limit, and then I went and prayed that I could make it here in the morning. Martinsville is where they're at this weekend, and then NASCAR's tomorrow at Martinsville. I think they're on NBC. No, they're on CW channel. Then you've got the Japanese Grand Prix coming up on April 6th. That's going to be pretty cool. That's for Formula One. And then you got IMSA on April 12th. So that's at the Long Beach. Got a lot of stuff going on. And then
That
your
Long
local-
Beach race, I've always liked that.
Yeah, it's just fun to watch. It
It's
really
a street
is.
race right down
It's-
there by the harbor.
Yep, and you've got a little bit of terrain adjustment, things like that. It's very cool.
Yeah,
Nice
it
stuff.
is. Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Mars, this week in auto history.
Yeah, buddy. We had lots of things going on this week in auto history. Picked out 4 of them that I thought were rather interesting. And beginning in 1965, Chevrolet introduced the Caprice. Now,
Be still my heart.
This was actually, when it was introduced, it was an option package for the Impala, but it became a standalone model, and it became one of Chevrolet's most successful full-size cars.
Fully loaded Impala is what it was.
But yes, absolutely. They even actually went on and introduced it as a limited Caprice custom sedan trim package for the 65 Impala, which came out in the 66 models. It featured upgraded interiors, unique badging, upscale trim such as wood, grain trim, thicker carpeting, better sound insulation, and engines.
That's a good-looking car right there.
It
Great
is.
looking car.
That is a nice-looking car. Engine choices, you had a 283 V8 at 195 horsepower. The 327 had 250, or you could get the 396 at 325 horsepower.
Negative.
396.
Yeah, you talk about
Gulp,
smokes and
gulp,
tires.
gulp.
Leaded fuel.
And so 1966, the first Shelby GT350 was delivered to Hertz. Now, this is where Ford and Shelby American delivered the first
Let
Shelby
Hertz
GT.
put you in the driver's seat today.
The only problem is this one had a top. You couldn't drop down into it. It's a GT350H is the way it was packaged as part of the RIT Eraser program. So customers could actually rent this high-performance Mustang based on the GT350. Had a 306 horsepower 289 V8 automatic transmission, and they were all black and gold. Now, these were rented to car enthusiasts. So a lot of people got to drive these performance cars that they wouldn't otherwise get to drive because you couldn't get too many of them out on a test drive. After they were kind of went out into the open market, a lot of them ended up being raced, and they're very collectible to this day, particularly in their factory Hertz.
Well, that's a later model there.
That is a later model, yes, but it's still a 350H. Okay, so then in 1952,
Clearly
Nash.
not in order here. Oh, God.
yes, the Nash Kelvinator Corporation and the Hudson Motor Car Company merged to form the American Motors Corporation.
I like
it. was the largest corporate merger in U.S. automotive history at that time. Now, AMC's aim was to compete with the Big Three. They were going to build compact, innovative cars. The merger led to models like the Rambler, the Javelin, and the Gremlin. And despite the success they had in these niche markets,
God, it's so
they
ugly.
never could make it long term, and they were eventually acquired by Chrysler in 1987.
Can't imagine why. Probably some right below the Edsel is the attractiveness to
Yes,
me. That thing.
absolutely.
I would
That's what I
drive it.
thought. I like the car.
I would
so,
drive it.
in 1979, and this one I thought was rather unusual, never thought about it, the 3 Mile Island nuclear accident.
Oh, I thought that was a Tesla plant there.
Yeah, dealership, Tesla dealership. The 3 Mile accident happened on March 28th. Now, this heightened the public fear of nuclear energy, and what this did caused people to be more reliant on fossil fuels, which influenced the fuel economy regulations, which caused the automakers to focus on smaller, more fuel-efficient cars, and that allowed the acceleration of compacts being imported and ended up with domestic fuel savers like the Chevette and the Ford Escort.
The new little Chevy Chevette. Ooh, brother.
So that was some of the things we found in this week in automotive history.
All right. We're going to have a whole segment on the 25% tariffs that are coming our way next week for cars built outside the United States. And in the meantime and in between time, that I have other news stories.
Got some headlines going?
I do, and I thought that I had separated them in a better way than I currently have, and that clearly is not the case. So I'm going to have to thumb through here real quick, because there was one in particular that I wanted to share with you.
Talk amongst yourselves out there while we,
Yeah, we need to have the
There you go. Now we're
Customer accused Miami dealership. I found it.
Okay.
Customer accused a Miami dealership, a captive finance company, and a service contract administrator in a suit alleging fraud and consumer violations in failing to disclose his used vehicle had been damaged in 2 crashes. Not only were the prior accidents recorded on Carfax and other databases, but AutoNation Nissan Miami serviced and repaired Norland Palacios' 2021 Nissan Rogue Sport after the crashes, according to the suit. The suit arose from the sale of the Rogue in October of 23. Palacios claims he didn't learn about the prior damage until 13 months later when he tried to resell the vehicle. As a result of the accidents, he sold it at, quote, a substantially lower price than the market value, end quote, thereby losing thousands of dollars. The suit contends the dealership leased the vehicle in February 22, and the lessor was involved in crashes in April and July of 22. So, buyer beware. Yep. Always do your Carfax. Do your homework before you buy it. Dealerships in Texas are warning one another about a man who has been posing as a customer so he can film himself test driving exotic cars, often at speeds of well over 100 miles an hour, and with a panicked sales manager or person in the passenger seat. They say it's been happening in the Dallas and Houston areas for months, but the most stores had just written off as an obnoxious potential customer. CBS News Texas said it contacted nearly a dozen dealerships shown in the man's Instagram videos and found only 2 that had called police. Dozens of videos filmed behind the wheel of Ferraris, Porsches, Corvettes, Hellcats are posted on an Instagram account belonging to Amir Saeed. In many, the salesperson can be heard urging the driver to slow down, pull over, or return to the dealership. One video shows an Audi topping 130 miles an hour and then cuts to the salesman vomiting onto the pavement. I would have been scared to death. It's one thing for me to drive the car at 130 with me in there by myself, but having somebody else like you or you driving me 130 miles an hour, I'm a little bit nervous.
I told you earlier, I was doing 38 and felt I had to turn myself in because it was a 35 mile an hour speed limit. I felt dirty after that. I did.
You did?
I felt dirty.
I'm feeling dirty right now just hearing it. My ears are bleeding.
I found it interesting the number of times that somebody actually called the cops.
Twice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back after this.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, April 3rd to the 5th at NRG Center. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience with 1,000 vehicles up for grabs. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. Bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets now at Mecum.com.
It's the NOL Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we have Hemmings Sold Car Roundup and this week's Ford Recall Book. What? Jeff will bring us some car culture with the gangster of NASCARs, gangsters of NASCAR, and Mr. Mars reviews the 2025 Chevy Equinox EV. Howdy along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Seekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad you could join us on this Saturday. What were you saying when we were in the commercial break?
He was saying how great my whole attitude is today.
No, I think that you were talking about something different in addition to that. You were talking,
About the car dealerships?
Yeah.
Oh, no, when you were talking about...
Yeah. Well, so when I had the news story about the guy driving cars, exotic cars at 130 miles an hour with the salesperson sitting, then going taking pictures of it, you said...
I said there was a time back in the day whenever there was a guy, he would go to a new car dealership with his wife. He would pull up in the lot. She would jump out and set out on a hood.
But she was
for pictures.
naked.
And she was naked. And he would start taking pictures of her on the hood of these different cars in the car dealership. And nobody ever called the cops. But I know of a guy. I know a guy that had two dealerships, and it was both dealerships they went to. Now he did one salesman I heard got fired because he was in one of the pictures watching. He had a big grin on his face watching. He wasn't trying to stop him.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but I don't. The problem was he got in the picture.
Becky, are you listening to this?
And she knows about it because she thought it was hilarious at the time. This was several years ago.
Uh-huh.
She had a much different sense of humor. But yeah, so people do crazy things.
Well, she's been married to you now for quite some time.
That's
so
a
she
sense of
clearly
humor
has
there,
to have
yeah.
a sense of humor.
Absolutely.
It's just different. That's all I said.
We heard what you said.
Good story.
That was a good. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't tell it when we were talking about it, but that's all right. It was worth.
right.
It was worth the redo.
I remember some of the pictures. I'm kind
I
of
bet you could probably go somewhere online and find that.
maybe so. Now that you mention it,
Well, you're the big internet guy. Why don't you go for it? I know that's what you did.
And
You
you've
sit at home.
done photography.
Were you the photographer, Mike?
no,
Mike?
was not.
Mike? Okay, just check it.
He was the model.
He was the model at the dealership. All right. So, time for some recall news.
Yes.
BMW X3 for 2025, loss of rear brake function from brake fluid leak on your X3 for 25. Now comes the Ford section. And I do mean the Ford section. Ready?
Yep.
Now, remember a couple of weeks ago, we had a Ford section.
We did.
We got another Ford section
Got another
now.
one. Yep.
And they say, we have a real problem with quality control. Clearly, they have a problem. Because on the Ford F-250 and 350 Super Duty for 2023, the front windows may fail to reverse direction. Well, Martha, let the dog stick its head out the window, and goodbye dog. Won't go down. Loss of drive power from undetected low battery. Ford Bronco Sport and Maverick for 21, 22, 23, and 24. Rear view camera image may not display on the Ford Explorer, Lincoln Aviator, Lincoln Corsair, 2020 through 2023. Again, another Ford, blank or distorted rear view camera image on the Ford Edge for 21 and 22.
Now, these aren't people issues of installing or assembling. These are product issues. This is the
That's what
actual.
this sounds like,
This is
yeah.
the actual camera.
Whatever, it doesn't make any difference.
I'm
You got to
saying-
take the damn car back.
Well, to that point, if you got a second, a lot of these cars are put together with robots, so it's not necessarily a human making that mistake.
No, but Ford has purchased products that
Right.
are clearly not worthy of a
Understood.
car.
Yeah, understood.
Rear view camera image displayed incorrectly. I don't know what that means. Upside down, sideways, on the Ford Escape for 2025. These are new cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to Jeff's point, how do you quality control something where the problem doesn't show up for several years?
Yeah, or-
and a lot of those parts aren't even being made anymore because they're too old. The car's
So
too
then,
old.
okay, then how do you justify that statement? By the steering column shifter may detach on the Ford F-250, 350, and 450 for the 2025 model year. Come on.
Well, is it assembled by a human? Is it assembled
Doesn't make
by
any difference.
Well, yeah, to that point, it really doesn't. But the quality control versus the assembly, the product quality control.
Right.
I mean, Ford can go check all the rear view cameras they want, but if the problem doesn't show up for 2 or 3 years of use, then I don't know how you could.
How do you make
that.
something that you don't test vigorously for months to make sure that we're turning it on and off? You know, you've seen the commercials. Well, we test the chassis of this car, and it's up on some sort of spring
this is
thing,
going like this, yeah.
doing the jitterbug for days or weeks on end to see what falls off. I mean, don't you do that when you make something that you're going to have thousands and thousands of them? I would think that you would. Anyway?
Or you got somebody up there saying, "Well, I bought it from you. I expect you to do that." And that guy that builds that camera is not going to spend the money to do that because he's not that big.
Unexpected vehicle movement. Ford Bronco, Explorer, F-150, Mustang, Ranger, Aviator, 24 to 25 model years.
It jumps.
Unexpected vehicle movement.
Was it jump sideways?
I don't know. It's all it says.
Probably lurches,
Unexpected
maybe?
vehicle movement. That's recall number 25V164 if you'd like to look it up and see exactly what it is.
25V16. Yeah,
that one.
That one.
We're not done.
Oh no, we're not.
Inoperative HVAC controls on the Ford Transit van 2022 to 23. Transmission may shift into neutral while driving on the Ford F-150 for 2021. So we're moving away now from Ford. They've had enough attention today.
Well, that brings up a thought on that.
Go ahead.
Well, is it a dial shifter? Is it on a column shifter? Is it a push button shifter?
Ford doesn't use a dial shifter.
Well, I'm just saying, what kind of shifter is it? Because that plays into why it's.
Well, I would like to think it's one of these shifters
You
that
think
are
so?
up here. Probably. You know, everybody tries to reinvent the shifter. Doesn't make any difference anymore
No.
because it used to be a mechanical thing.
Linkage,
When
all
you
that.
pull the drive thing down to drive, the shifter down to drive, and it would move levers down to the transmission. Now it's all electronic.
Sort of like your old
Well-
slide on the air conditioning and all that. That
Yeah.
was all
wires
wires
cables,
and
yeah.
rods.
My wife's 2015. It broke the shifter cable. It's still mechanical even then. I was surprised. I figured it'd be electronic, but it was still the plastic piece off the end of it broke off.
Maybe we should go back old school and start putting, instead of flying by wire all the time, do something mechanical. Put the rods back in.
I wonder how that would work on the new vehicles that we're taking to space, where they all sit in front of a computer console,
Yeah.
lay down in front of a computer console. Reverse, yeah.
It'd be pulling levers like a
I think
roulette
they got
wheel.
reversed in a rocket. I'm not sure.
Headlights can be misadjusted on the 2024 to 25 Jeep Wagoneer S. Loss of power steering assist on the Cadillac,
No.
ATS, CTS, Camaro, and Corvette 2016 through 2018. That's enough of that. It's a downer.
You mentioned the headlights being out of adjustment. It reminded me. Used to, when you went and got your car inspected, they
Right.
would make sure they were
They
aligned
put
right.
it on a damn alignment machine.
Yeah, they put the suction
So
cup
my
thing on
wife's car, the headlights didn't look right, and I put it up against the garage, and I tried to measure it and all that stuff, and something just wasn't right. So I went and asked, "How do I adjust the headlights?" Well, you don't. You put them in, and you can adjust them up and down a little bit, but that's it. There's no. I said, "So how do I test it?" We don't do that.
On my
The
1970
dealer
on my
said that.
1977 Corvette, that was about the time that rectangular headlights started coming into
Yep.
popularity. And of course, that Corvette had 2 rounds per bucket, so 2 and
Yeah.
I thought, I want them to be rectangle.
Oh boy.
So I had to go into the headlight assembly, take the headlights out, and take a grinder, and I did, and grind out the holes because they were round holes, and the actual headlight, the old round headlights, fit in those holes.
Into that bucket.
Yeah.
Well, the rectangular headlights did not fit in there, clearly. So I had to wallow out the holes. Oh, God. It was a nightmare. Then I had to take it and get it inspected. And the guy fiddled with the headlights and fiddled with them and fiddled with them and could never get them adjusted right. He finally said to me, I got it close enough. Check mark.
I'm glad I didn't know him back then.
Yeah. I had a 75 Chevrolet Silverado, and same thing. I wanted the square headlights in it. Except what I did was kind of cut that big truck headlight thing out and build a flat plate and cut little squares out in it.
You were smarter than me.
Well, I had more room to deal with. It wasn't just a
True.
little pop-up. I had the big truck.
Big
Time
truck.
now for Hemmings Sold Car Weekly Roundup,
right.
where the boys get to guess how much the car sold for.
Jeffrey
And
online?
Is Jeff with us? Jeff Heitzman?
Well, he was earlier.
Okay. Well, he may have had something to do. Maybe he had a dental appointment or something. Anyway, so here we go. First car up for bid and sold on Hemmings Sold Car Roundup is a 1963. Now, you think of a split window coupe. Well, this is not. This is a convertible, but still a 1963. It is a Resto Mod. This car has an LS motor in it, a 5-speed manual transmission, both tops on it with, one the cloth top and the other one the hard top. So a 63 Chevy Corvette. This is a C2 Corvette. Mm-hmm. How much do you think that car sold for? And for those that can't see the picture that we've got up, it's silver with a red interior.
It's a good-looking picture. Good-looking
It's
car.
a good-looking car. Yeah.
Aftermarket chrome wheels.
Blood red
It's a really
interior.
good-looking
Yeah.
car.
Maroon. I'm going $72,000.
Ooh. Heitzman's at 29. Jeff, you're way off on this one. What'd you say?
72.
72?
Heisman was 29.
Yeah, Heitzman's 29. I was going to go 75, but I'll even go 80. I really like the look of that car.
$142,590. Oh my God. Sir, you have way too much money and don't know what you're doing.
Hot
It's a
diggity.
Resto Mod, friends. All right, let's bring it back to town, okay? A 1979. No, wait a minute. Did I skip one? I did.
Yeah. Oh.
So here's a 1978 Toyota FJ40. Now, this is that Jeep-looking thing that Toyota built back in the 70s.
Yep.
Okay? It looks stock. It looks like it just rolled off the factory showroom floor or whatever. So 78 Toyota FJ40. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these are popular collectible items.
Yep.
Okay, go.
18,000.
All right. I'm going to go 55.
What does Mr. Heitzman say?
Well, he hasn't quite got in here yet. I think he's
He's
recovering
Googling
from
it.
the Corvette. He says 32.
32. Well, he's closer. This one here is $47,250.
All right.
I knew they were popular.
That's a
Man.
lot of money. Okay. Now we're moving on
Go into the
to
crazy.
another Jeep. Okay. This is a 1979 Jeep J10. Looks like a half-ton pickup truck. Well, I'm not too familiar with the actual
They
models.
didn't make a lot of them.
No. Well, you can see why.
I like the color.
79 Jeep J10.
And you know that's Arizona or somewhere
Looks
in
a
the
lot
desert.
like a Ford.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where do you buy parts for something like that? And it looks like it's a 4-wheel drive.
Oh yeah, that'd
So
be the lock
where would you buy parts for a 79 Jeep J10? You got pickup truck parts. Oh, where? How much?
That's why it's out in Arizona.
That's a Jeep J10. How much do you think that
Back to
went
wheels. I'm going to go 16,000.
I'm going 32. Heitzman says 35.
for? 18,670,
Dang.
and it's clean.
That's what I'm saying. It looks really good. The wheels.
Here's
everything.
one that is more popular than you think. I wouldn't. I'm not a big convertible guy, but here is a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner convertible. It looks stock. It looks stock. See, it's got the Roadrunner emblem there on the door. It's got the what is it? The 383 hood on it.
Could be. It looks like the same mountain in the background, too. From the other
Okay,
one.
well, whatever. We ain't selling that. So, what do you think that the 69 Plymouth Roadrunner convertible, orange in color, would go for these days?
42?
42. Mr. Mars?
I would say 28.
Okay. and
Heitzman says 23.
how about 43,575? Jeff, you got it. Okay.
Must be something under the hood.
Now, for you foreigners, I want you to look at this 2006 Maserati Quattroporte.
Oh.
And I threw this in there. I normally wouldn't, but I thought, well, some people like this Maserati stuff. 2006 Maserati Quattroporte. It's a 4-door sedan, silver. Looks like it's got a red interior. It's pretty nice looking car, if you ask me.
37.
37. Mars?
I really don't know. 25, just because I got no clue.
Okay, 25. And what does Mr. Heitzman say?
85.
85,000?
Yes.
21,000.
Oh. We'll give that one to you, Mike.
But with the $21,000, you better have lots of money in your pocket to keep it in the dealership repair center.
Looks like it's in the garage right now.
67 Ford Thunderbird is our next
Ooh, that's
item up
pretty- I
for
like
bid.
it. I'd drive that.
I know it. 67 Ford Thunderbird. Now, this is the big Thunderbird. That's a good-looking car, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is.
How much do you think that sold for? Looks completely stock, including the white walls.
Yeah, looks nice.
Very
Flip up.
clean.
Flip up. I'm going to go 25.
25.
I'm going to go 18.
18.
Mr. Heitzman is still
Trying
to figure it
Mr.
out.
Heitzman, you can't be looking up stuff.
49,000.
49. 27, 825.
He ain't looking up nothing because he has to be close all day.
All right. So the next vehicle up for bid is the 2006 Thor.
Oh, yeah.
4 Winds. How much would a Thor 4 Winds with I don't know how many miles on it, a 2006 model.
Thor,
The
you
thing is 20 years old. How much do you think you could get for something
Oh,
like that?
Thor. You could get hammered in that.
You could get really hammered.
I'm going to go $36,000. Not a penny more, Michael.
Yeah. How much did you say? 36?
I said 36. That might be a little high.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Heitzman says 45,000. I was thinking more like 30.
Well, okay.
$21,000, and
Okay.
you get a bus that it comes with all the problems that it has.
Now, that's a pusher, isn't it?
No, I think it's got a front engine.
Yeah,
in it.
20 years old. It probably is. It's got a radiator place up front. and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, that could also be a generator up there, or a slide out generator. I don't know, but it doesn't make any difference. That we're done with
We
that.
sold it for.
Next one is a 2001 BMW 740iL. This is the top of the line Beamer 4-door sedan, luxury out the wazoo. Hello, Wiener Schnitzels.
You know, Ainsley would know that one. I'm going to go 42.
42.
Heitzman says 45. I wouldn't give you, 30. I'll go 30.
Well, Mr. Mars is the winner because it went for 31.5.
Very good.
I was going to say I'd give you $3, but
You owe me $1.
Man, I can only imagine the repair bills on that. All right. Just ahead, Mr. Mars reviews the 2025 Chevy Equinox along with Jeff's car culture feature about the gangsters of NASCAR. The End Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this break.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 chili pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The End Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, End Wheel Time hits the road, literally, when we join the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, April 24th through the 27th. Check out our link to the website through InWheelTime.com. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate you. And time now for Jeff's Car Culture.
Yes.
Gangsters of NASCAR.
Gangsters. I was watching NASCAR last week, and there's really no tough guy anymore. There's the pseudo-tough people out there, and everybody gets a trophy. So this is what I came up with. They're out there. There's a bunch of guys out there that are tough, tough hombres. But this is what we got here. Racing is it's not about skill anymore. It's about attitude. Some drivers don't just compete, but they command respect lap after lap, no matter who's in their way. So these 6 fellas,
Darrell.
what we think, Darrell Waltrip, or Boogity 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 as we call him, wasn't just a fast talker. He was a fast mover on the track. He'd block, squeeze, and gamble his way to the front.
Yes, he did.
Always looking for a way to outthink his rivals. Whether it was a last lap fuel stretch or a bumper-to-bumper dogfight, DW with a win-at-all-costs mentality. So he was a nice guy, too. I met him once. The next one we have, another tough guy. This one's probably tougher.
Oh, yeah.
David Pearson.
Big man,
He
too.
was a master of the long game. He didn't always push early, but when it mattered, he turned up the wick and made his move. He knew how to outfox his competition, saves the best for the last laps, and leaving his rivals wondering, where did he come from? So that was a big discussion with that. The next one we have is Cale Yarborough. Now, Cale's a tough guy. This guy with his fists. Cale just didn't race. He battled. 3-time NASCAR champion with an iron will. He never backed down from a fight, whether it was on track or on the infield. Just ask the Allison brothers. He could muscle his way to the front and hold his ground like a bulldog with a bone. I like Cale. He was cool. Next one, he's a modern-day tough guy. Tony Stewart. He just didn't race, but he fought for every inch of the asphalt. A short-track brawler with a super speedway mentality, Stewart wasn't afraid to put the chrome horn to work or throw a helmet occasionally, now and then. His temper was fearless. Driving made him one of the toughest competitors of his era. Now, this one's questionable, in my opinion. I didn't like him before, kind of like him now, but it's Kyle Busch. NASCAR had a resident firebrand. It's Kyle Busch. Love him or hate him, he races like every lap is the last. No room, he'll make it. Rival in his way, he'll move him. Whether he's muscling his way through traffic or pulling off the last lap miracle, Busch is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward driver. And of course, everyone knows the Intimidator, Mr. Dale Earnhardt. If there was ever a driver who owned the track with an iron fist, it was Dale Earnhardt. He didn't just race, he ruled. Whether it was a last lap bump and run or throwing a daring block at 200 miles per hour, Earnhardt made sure you knew he was there. Short track, super speedways, it didn't matter. If you wanted to win, you had to go through him first. So there you go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice
Excellent
stuff.
piece.
Yep.
Okay. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has the Chevy Equinox to talk about.
Yes, and just to clarify, the Equinox can be either an EV or an ICE powered. You can have
Gas,
one or the other.
gas or electric.
Gas or electric. And we were driving the Equinox EV LT. Now, this was a new model in 2024, so this is kind of an update. 2 trim levels this year, LT or the RS. So obviously we were driving the LT. Now, the final assembly for this vehicle is in Mexico. There's a lot of parts coming in from Canada, Korea, but the final assembly is in Mexico, and then it's imported into the United States. Now, this is a small SUV. It resides in the trim levels. It's just a little bit smaller than the Blazer EV as far as size goes. It is a 5-passenger. We had the blue and white color combination. To me, it was very beachy, very summery, very outgoing thing. Now, the out front, you're going to find LED lighting, front rear approach, walkway, flush door handles that extend automatically when you walk up to the car. Had heated side mirrors, bright chrome roof rails. Has an auto sensing power liftgate, and it has the optional 21-inch aluminum wheels instead of the 19-inch standard wheels. Now, on the inside of it, you're going to find Evotech seating surfaces. The front row is heated and ventilated. Second row is heated on the outboard positions of the 60/40 split seat. Now, it is very roomy on the inside. It's got lots of glass, so there's a lot of natural light in there. It feels very big on the inside of it. 17.1-inch diagonal display. Does not have Apple CarPlay. It has a Google setup, so you have to, if you're using CarPlay like I do, you got to do a little finagling to get to where you can use all the stuff that you'd like to use on your phones, your nav and your sound and things like that. But it's also where you're going to see your surround view camera and your convenience controls for the inside of it. There is an 11-inch diagonal driver display as well as a heads-up display, so the driver's got plenty of information being fed to him. Got the rear view camera mirror, and I've come to like that really well. It's got a broader view than you get out of your regular your regular mirror, and it's a lot clearer, generally speaking. Now, it is an EV. It has one single motor with an 85 kilowatt battery, and it will take 150 kilowatt DC fast charge. It's equivalent to 220 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque. 1-speed transmission. There's really just a direct drive is what it amounts to on a front-wheel drive vehicle. Now, it is rated to tow up to 1,500 pounds. And it has a 319-mile range as far as from the factory. Now, I've learned that I can get about 90% of the factory recommendations when it's new. I also found where Chevrolet goes into several places where the batteries lose 1 to 2% per year of life, so that when you hit the end of the 8-year warranty, you're actually down, that 319 is down to a 271-mile range, and that's just the way life is. Now, I did drive this vehicle 427 miles. I had to charge it a couple of times because of that, and a couple of things I noted on the charging I wanted to point out. When I plugged it into the house, the new system tells me I was adding 2.1 miles per hour of charge.
That's all.
That is it. Yeah. So I've got to the old range anxiety thing kind of changed for me. 6 miles to the grocery store and back. Well, that's not too much as far as range goes, but I started translating, well, that's 3 hours of charge time. Do I need that 6 miles later on in the day to go someplace? Do
Probably.
I have 3 hours to charge it at the house? So it's kind of to me, that's not a very good way to look at it, but I'm sure it is. But I went to a supercharger. It charged real quick. Once you got onto a regular charger, an hour and a half, and it put from 20 to 100%. It is a very heavy vehicle, and therefore, with the taller tires, it drives pretty smooth out on the highway, absorbs a lot of it. It's surprisingly quiet on the road, easy to maneuver in town. I love the one-pedal driving. Base model price is $33,600. The base trim price is the base trim price. The price as tested, $50,540. Now, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is one you could look at for $42,500, 303-mile range. The Volkswagen ID4, $39,995 with a 275-mile range. And the Mustang Mach-E, $38,490 for across 250-mile range.
Pro-Am Auto. Sorry.
And that's my review, but I really like driving this vehicle. I would like to have the gasoline-powered one behind it, a week behind it, just to compare and see how the two run. But if you're looking for an EV, this is one of them you ought to look at.
All right. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, April 3rd to the 5th at NRG Center. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience with 1,000 vehicles up for grabs. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. Bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets now at Mecum.com.
From the Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, USA, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Aiden Bergsman from the Anderson Economic Group talks to us about the auto tariffs that start next Wednesday. Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll bring you stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us. And David Ainsley is preparing to join us next Saturday at the Hemi Hideout. We invite you to join us out there as well. Jeff, John Hovis is going to have an open house at the Hemi Hideout. Usually has a couple of them every year.
Yep.
It's your opportunity to take a gander inside yourself, and we highly recommend it for anybody and everybody. Children under 12 are not welcome.
And the weather's going to be beautiful.
It is. Yeah, it truly is. All right. Let's go to the Anderson Economic Group. And the gentleman's name is Aiden. It's great to have you with us, Aiden Bergsman. Pardon me?
Did you lose your place again?
Well, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. And I
Aiden, how are you?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Well, very well. Where are we speaking to you from?
I am in the office currently at East Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, very good.
You're up in Michigan. Okay, well, good. The hot spot of the world these days, 25% tariffs on automobiles coming from, well, for us, mainly Canada and Mexico, but they also include all the European and Japanese countries. I mean, anything that comes in through a port, they're going to be charged a 25% tariff. And I said this earlier, and that's on top of any tariff that currently is placed on that country. Am I correct?
Yep, that's correct. The proclamation just Wednesday this week on the 26th, that was for the car imports and auto parts imports. From any foreign country, and that's on top of as well the steel and aluminum that went into effect earlier this month. Any other tariffs that may be in existence, all of these are really on top of each other. So there's quite a lot of areas for these autos to get hit.
And I think that the president said yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that he is asking the car companies to toe a line on increasing the price of automobiles, which to me means, look, these guys need to kind of suck it up, is what he's saying, I think, is what he's asking for. Are they going to do that, you think?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess it's really ultimately up to the manufacturers, and each model is going to be different in terms of how much it gets hit by these tariffs, which would then inform them of what sorts of cost increases they'll see for those models. As consumers, we hope that there's not going to be too much of an impact, but I think, since there's all these tariffs that are going to be stacked on top of each other, we should be seeing some increases across the board for these models. And, ultimately it's up to the manufacturers. We would hope that they could absorb more of it than they pass on to the consumers, but we'll, see probably sooner rather than later.
Well, Aiden, from my experience, and not all of the cars that come to us from Mexico or Canada, and we're going to talk about those specifically because I think that those are the ones that impact or will impact most of America if the manufacturers stay with the prices in a 25% increase. Hopefully that will not be the case, but it's going to take us a while to kind of weave our way through this process because there are certain things that it's complicated. It's not just 25% across the board because, granted, if an engine is made in Windsor, Ontario, for instance, and is shipped to the other side of the river over to Detroit and placed in a Chevy pickup truck, there's 25%. But there are other parts to the truck that could be made in Mexico that goes through the United States and gets another part added to it. Then it gets shipped to Canada and it comes back. So there are all these ifs, ands, and buts that are happening within all of this tariff stuff that it's quite complicated, actually.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It is quite complicated. We've definitely buffed up our tariff and imports knowledge over the past couple of months because of this. And you're right; these components cross borders several times, during the manufacturing process. Even to the complexity point that you mentioned, even the government isn't fully prepared for these tariffs yet, in the fact that with the newest proclamation a couple of days ago on the car parts, currently those I don't believe are being tariffed until the Secretary of Commerce can even figure out the way to differentiate between the U.S. and the non-U.S. content. So there will be some wiggle room for manufacturers and importers when they're importing cars and components to declare U.S. content that would not be impacted by the tariffs.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Which they're still working on setting that system up.
Yeah. I read a story this morning from Automotive News that the issue is so compounded that what they have done, knowing that this is going to take place a month ago now, well, almost a month ago, that they're cranking out cars as fast as they can in Canada and Mexico and importing everything that they can from the Europeans and Japanese as well. That dealer lots are overflowing with cars, and the dealers are getting as many cars as they can right now, especially those that are made outside the United States. And I would imagine, there's that ripple effect. Order it a month ago and order for your lot what you think that you can sell. And I would imagine that they're going to have every space and more filled at car dealers. And the word out today was, if you're going to go buy a new car, be prepared to wait for a salesman to sell you the car. Have you heard this too?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly, like you said, a ripple effect, and the timing of it's very interesting. These tariffs were originally discussed way back in November as, really just an idea. And over the course of the last few months, now we've been seeing them, take shape and really become realized and see them change in a way as well. Now with the new tariffs, we're seeing that that's targeting really any import, not just from Canada and Mexico. So that really is impacting all manufacturers, all makes and models. And I think you're right. I think to get ahead of this, some dealerships, they're trying to get whatever they can get their hands on, and not only just from their side, but consumers as well. We've been telling people that if you've got your eye on a car and there's something that you're looking to purchase, to try to make that purchase sooner rather than later, because the price could go up, or if manufacturers during this process realize that certain models really just aren't as feasible to produce anymore with the cost of the imports, they might switch away from certain car models. And for some consumers, that have been looking to buy a certain model, that can really affect their choices in the
Right,
future.
because there are some manufacturers that are actually only building this particular model in Canada or in Mexico, and I'm just going to use those as an example.
Sure.
But it's all over the world,
Yeah.
but they're only making them there. My thought was, okay, so Project X car is made in Ontario, Canada, or Windsor, Canada, and that car, it sells, but it doesn't sell in huge numbers. So the only way for me to make any money as a manufacturer is to tack on that entire 25% and sell it up. If it's a $40,000 car, now you're looking at a $50,000 car is the way it works. If I'm not making that much money and I'm not making that many cars, am I going to shut down the factory? Then you get the whole other
ripple.
The other ripple of it is the unions, because Canada has a union similar to ours. And can they do that without some sort of big brouhaha with the unions? So there are so many multiples involved in this. How do you see things going? What do you foresee? I know you got an idea.
Honestly, I think it's going to be from a lot of different angles. I don't think there's really, there's not a one-size-fits-all solution for these manufacturers. Like you said, certain models, if they rely more on imports or manufacturing from foreign countries, the solution's either, like you said, they can keep producing as is and just have to incur that 25%. They could shift their production of that model to the U.S. Or try to produce certain components domestically rather than importing them. They could just completely do away with the model, which would have ripple effects, like you said, with closing down facilities and laying off employment. I think probably the best solution for these manufacturers is to do a little bit of all of it, really analyze which models are the ones that they are for sure going to keep and they can justify.
Well, and
how do they shift that production? And then if they're getting rid of some, where they make the cuts in terms of the production and the employment.
Yeah, and the final goal is to get the manufacturing here in the U.S. So I think that with those steps that you said you're going to take, or they would take, inevitably they're going to probably move over to here to make it a little less tough on the tariffs themselves. And the people that are going to really be making money on this are the tariff attorneys, because there's going to be lawsuits left and right.
You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's who's going to be making the money.
Well, here's the other thing that I'm going to throw out there, and that is the fact that the manufacturers have spent billions and billions and billions of dollars to shift focus to electric, and electric has stopped selling in volume big enough that they can actually make some money off of them. And so now they've put all of their savings, if you will, into EVs and EV factories and battery technology and battery building, all of that. So where is the money going to come from to, let's say, move the Chevrolet plant that makes the Silverado in Canada? And how, because they're going to have to either add capacity to where they're building them, because usually, at least here in Texas, they sell every single one that they make, or they're going to have to just be on hold with your order for your Chevy pickup truck because they can't make them fast enough. Mm-hmm. I mean, the issues are compounded, and it just is not one thing. It's a lot of things. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, and this is my thought, the CEOs of these manufacturing companies, GM, Ford, Stellantis, whoever it is, they're making hundreds of millions of dollars in their bonuses and all of this sort of stuff. And you hear about, Mary Barra getting, a bonus of $1 million. You never hear, well, they're going to take a cut and pay just to help along. It's more of a symbolic thing. Why wouldn't they do that? To get the kudos from the American people saying, hey, Mary Barra took a cut and pay, and I'm going to go buy me a GM.
Yeah, I mean, I have no way of knowing if that would actually happen or not. But I mean, as a consumer and, somebody on the side of this that's going to see these impacts, I think something to that effect would really go a long way to help reassure these consumers that they're not just kind of left by the wayside to really deal with, the final decisions and seeing these car prices go up. That, that's a really tough pill to swallow for some people. And it's going to definitely push people, if they were in the new car market, maybe they go used, or maybe unfortunately they can't afford the vehicle they want to anymore. I think what's going to help the consumer get through this process, and even manufacturers, is it's going to, there's going to be a give and take from both sides. And, if that's not only just the restructuring, bringing manufacturing over here, but also, like you said, if there's pay cuts involved, or maybe, the CEOs can kind of help in any way that they can as well. I think that would help consumers know that they're not alone, and that, while this is going on, that they get support from some other aspects of it.
Aiden, how many meetings do you think are happening this weekend, right now, today, as we speak, talking about tariffs and what in the world are we going to do?
Well, Aiden's in the office.
Yeah, you're in the office, so there you go. I mean, I would imagine that there's probably going to be around-the-clock headbanging going on in all these major corporations going, okay, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it?
Definitely.
I was telling somebody earlier today, I said, I think that what's going to happen is that it's going to be a combination of things that these manufacturers are going to have to either individually or collectively, and I think collectively ultimately is going to be the answer. This one's cutting back here, this one's moving the operation here, this one's going to shut down that operation over here. It's going to be a combination of all these things to try to keep a cap on the price of the vehicle, because the price of a new vehicle is over $40,000 on average now. It's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're spot on there. I think there's lots of, like you said, there's compounding issues, and because of that, there's going to have to be lots of, different solutions that they have to weave and have them work together so that they can, attack this from all different angles.
I'm interested in all these commercials that you see now on TV. Hey, take $18,000 off the top of the sticker price and get in the incentive at whatever, 2.9% for whatever time. I wonder how the commercials are going to be. Get involved now and get the 25% tariff removed or whatever the case. Hey, congratulations on Michigan State beating Ole Miss yesterday.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I checked in on it every now and then. It was a tight one, but Michigan State got the good comeback.
So do you have information, whatever Anderson Economic Group is thinking about the 25% tariffs?
We're currently in the process of updating our analysis. We put one out in February, which at the time was based on the February 1st executive order, which was just the 25% country tariffs to Canada and Mexico, which, as we know, has been delayed a couple of times, and we're now seeing this new tariff of imports of cars and car parts. With that analysis, we'd found that we took some data from a good selection of vehicles from different manufacturers, makes, and models. Ultimately finding that car prices could see increases of anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, even more so for some EV models, which you brought up earlier. We're working currently on updating that analysis. We're hoping to have a release early next week to take into account not only the new steel and aluminum tariffs that went into effect earlier this month, but the new tariffs that will be entering into the equation starting Wednesday.
Aiden, we can't thank you enough for joining us today. We really appreciate you. And we're going to be back. We're going to knock on your door again here in not too distant future.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Be on the lookout for our release. It'll come out sometime this week.
Thank you so much. Aiden Bergsman, Anderson Economic Group. Thanks again. Coming up, Jeff has the Cruise In and events calendars, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Thanks for joining us on the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We continue in 2 minutes.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 chili pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, we hope you'll join us for the upcoming Hot Rod Tour of Texas beginning April 24th down in Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get all the latest from the tour all weekend long, and Saturday the 26th, we'll be streaming our live show from the tour stop here in the Houston area at Spindle Tap Brewery. We thank you for joining us today here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Time now for the Cruise In and events calendar.
Yes,
Jeffrey?
you got Humble Good Old Days Classic Car Show. It returns April 5th in Humble. It's part of the Good Old Days Festival and it highlights the town's rich history.
Well, there's some good old boys there.
Yeah, good old boys, good old girls, all good old gals, all that stuff. And for the history and the community spirit. Pre-1988 vehicles. They've got a kids zone. They got raffles, prizes, all that good stuff. Probably food trucks. You can get on goodolddays.com, car show, for more information. That's in Humble at 110 South Avenue G. Goes from 10 a.m. till whenever. And then you got the weekly cruise in Montgomery, Texas, every Saturday night, 6 to 9. This actually tonight and next weekend, behind McDonald's and O'Reilly's in the Brookshire parking lot, Brookshire Brothers parking lot. And then you've got Kerrville coming up. The Kerrville Masonic Lodge, 3rd annual charity car show in Kerrville, part of the Salvation Army. They've got a fire pup program. They've got the Texas Masonic Charities, all that good stuff. 100% of the proceeds go to supporting the community, so get out there. Your dollar's going to go far. It's at the Kerr County Courthouse, 700 Main Street. No, Mike, you can't go because I think you got warrants out. You got warrants, you can't go. Kerrville from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then, of course, we've got our cruise-ins.
He's got an ankle monitor.
Is that what it is? It's got bedazzle bling on it.
Yes, it does. It lights up.
Kind of glittery.
Yeah,
It works good during the holidays. It looks pretty.
You're never mind. You got the Hemi Hideout next weekend, Tailpipes and Tacos on the 19th. And
yeah,
then you've
Hemi
got,
Hideout is the cruise in.
Yep.
It's an open house.
Yep.
Bring your hot rod. Don't have to bring anything. Just bring your regular driver car.
Yep.
You need to see the Hemi Hideout. That's out in Brookshire, Texas. Go to HemiHideout.com. Let them know you're coming so they can do a head count.
Yep.
By the way, the Lupi Tortilla taco truck's going to be out there. So if you want to have lunch again, you can do that.
That's good.
Very
I like
good,
taco.
very
We were
good.
just talking about that, and you see the advertisements that we have on there. And the parking. You go park your car, and then we'll wheel you up in a golf cart up to the event, up to the building, and that's all cool stuff, too. So there you go.
Cruise in and
Very
events.
cool.
Yep.
Right? Let's see here. Scammers who share tricks with one another on social media are pushing auto loan fraud to record levels.
What?
The dollar amount of car loans involving fraud grew last year by more than 16% to $9.2 billion, according to a report from risk management firm Point Predictive. In dollar terms, that's about 1.3% of all auto lending. The increase is much faster than the growth in total lending identified by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The rising numbers of swindlers is likely contributing to the record share of borrowers falling behind on their auto loan payments, as fraudulent loans are more likely to end up in default. One of the fastest growing types of fraud was so-called credit washing, where credit repair companies file false identity theft claims with credit bureaus or the Federal Trade Commission to help borrowers clear black marks from their credit histories. Indicators of credit washing showed up in 1.7% of loan applications last year, a 150% and 62% increase over 2023. Largest share of fraud involves the misrepresentation of income or employment, which can come from both borrowers and dealers. These kinds of inaccuracies accounted for 42% of all fraud last year by dollar amount. Point Predictive said to detect signs of likely income misrepresentation, the company uses methods including tracking the income levels of borrowers put on different applications and flagging significant variations. So beware.
Big Brother's watching you.
That's it.
Yep.
FBI has formed a task force with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives to coordinate investigations into a growing number of vandalism and arson incidents of Teslas, the showrooms, and the charging stations. The incidents come amid escalating backlash against CEO Elon Musk and his role in President Trump's administration. I think it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it is.
Hyundai Motor Group said it will spend $6 billion to establish a steel mill in Louisiana operated by Hyundai Steel, capable of producing 2.7 million tons of steel each year. The steel plant will supply cars and parts to plants in the U.S. It's part of a $21 billion investment in the company. We'll spend over the next 4 years to expand annual production capacity to 1.2 million vehicles.
That's the whole point.
They're here.
That's the
How
whole
do you
point.
borrow $21 billion?
They have it in their pockets.
They know a guy.
They know a guy. It also plans to invest in energy infrastructure creation and partner with U.S. companies such as NVIDIA and Waymo on technology development. Trump confirmed that Hyundai Motor, parent to Hyundai, Genesis, and Kia, would not be required to pay tariffs as a result of the expansion.
Wow.
Did it say where in Louisiana?
They didn't
You
say.
didn't
It's south of Baton Rouge. I
Baton
believe.
Rouge.
It's
Is it?
south of
No.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
They're on the river?
Probably.
Don't know. It doesn't say exactly. I'm sure that it'd be easy to find out.
One of our astute fact checkers online will tell us.
Yeah, I'm sure. It doesn't say in the story. I don't know.
I
Where.
think I heard south or southeast of Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Red Stick,
Yes.
which is the state capital, by the way.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That history lesson.
Yeah. I know all the state capitals. Ask me a state, I'll tell you the capital.
Washington State.
It's a W.
Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?
No.
I think what you should do is you should really apply for a opening act for Leanne Morgan.
But Tom
Or-
Papa.
or Tom Papa.
We saw Tom Papa a couple weeks ago. It was awesome.
That was actually last week.
Was it last week?
And it was very
Time
good.
flies. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, if you have not heard of Tom Papa, we highly recommend.
Yeah.
He's got a special on Netflix. It's pretty.
Several, yeah. And,
Yeah.
and he's a clean comic.
Yeah. Well, every once in a while
Yeah,
there'll be a
like-
word here or there, but
A dang it or a darn.
Kind
in
of
there.
like us. We're pretty clean most of the time. Some of the time.
when we're on the air,
a little bit of the time.
when we're on the air.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to have to take us a little break here, I
Yep.
think, gentlemen. Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
Am
the
I-
show has actually gone kind of fast, too fast. We might need to do another 2 hours or something.
Not today.
Okay.
But maybe
No,
next
not
week.
today.
In Real Time Car Talk shows after this. Stay with us.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, April 3rd to the 5th at NRG Center. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience with 1,000 vehicles up for grabs. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. Bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets now at Mecum.com.
Well, that's all for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure and check us out online at InWheelTime.com. We're always looking for new, informative, and fun automotive things.
Oh, yeah.
If you have an idea or an event, let us know. Our email address is info@inwheeltime.com. Hey, when you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the In Wheel Time app. You on the road? Grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider, including the new Sirius XM podcast channel. And be sure and catch us on the Odyssey radio app. We video stream our live show every Saturday, 10 to noon, on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time video technical director is We Need More Jeff Zekin. For booking agent, video editor, and people finder, Mike Out of This World Mars. And chief engineer, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Next week we'll be at the Spring Open House at the Hemi Hideout in Brookshire. $10 cash gets you in to see us in person, and we look for you out there. The Hot Rod Tour of Texas starts April 24th in Victoria, and we hope you'll join us, or at least tune in. Details and links at InWheelTime.com. Be safe out there. Have a great week, and thanks again for tuning in to In Wheel Time.